I have not done this before, so you're going to get little notices saying, hey, we're going to record and you can opt out. But in the meantime, let us come over here and we'll go back to my PowerPoint so that I know what I'm going to talk about next. Come on. All right. So now that we've had our introductions and you've practiced with Zoom breakout rooms, now we're going to go through briefly the plan for the semester. Yeah, I'm going to run out of time, but that's okay. I'm going to record Thursday's lecture, so that'll be the second day of the week lecture. So whatever we don't get to today, you'll be able to see tomorrow if you would like. Okay, so the plan for the semester, I wanted to let you know what the learning objectives for the course were. So learning objectives are what we want you to get as far as broad topics from this course. And these, to a large extent, have been set up by the American Society of Microbiologists. So this is what they want students in microbiology classes to know. So we're going to cover the key role of evolution as it applies to microbiology. We're going to identify microbial structures and connect the structures to their functions. We're going to identify the necessary components and processes of microbial metabolic pathways, identify key agents and processes of microbial information transfer, identify pivotal components of microbial systems important to human health, and analyze and describe the impact of microorganisms. Now, if all of this is gibberish, that's okay. It's the beginning of the semester. Hopefully by the end of the semester, you're going to be going, oh, yeah, we covered that. All right, so how we will accomplish the learning objectives. Okay. So this is a remote modality class. You're attending by Zoom, which in my opinion combines the very best of online courses with the very best of in-person courses. You don't have to travel. You save travel time. You save the expense of gas. And, but you're still able to attend and ask me questions in real time. And so personally, I like the remote modality best. I think it combines the best of everything. Okay, I also teach a flipped classroom. What does that mean? Today, I'm going to be doing a lot of talking at you. Normally, though, I have a lot of feedback interaction with my students. I'm more of a guide to helping you learn as opposed to standing up and doing the me show. I know all this about microbiology. So the plan is that you come with questions. I'm happy to cover anything that you've read in the textbook that you don't understand, that you would like some more explanation of. Okay? And then I'm going to be asking you hard questions that are similar to what you're going to see on the test. We're going to practice the really hard ones, okay? Because if you practice them in class, it's okay if you get them wrong because we're practicing, but it'll prepare you to do better on the exam, okay? So for a flipped classroom, here are the things that I would like you to do. Now, having been a college student, I realize this doesn't happen all the time, but this is a goal. This is something to strive for. So I would like you to read the textbook or watch my recorded videos before class, and then write down any questions you have. I say that because when I don't write down questions, then when I get a chance to ask them, I don't remember them. So if I write them down, I can always go, oh, here's my question. Okay? Ask me any questions that you may have. Like I said, I'm happy to go over any topics that you may have. And then we're going to, like I said, practice answering the harder styles of questions. Okay? The word problems of microbiology. Okay, so for learning terms, okay, we have for this class an online learning program that says kind of like flashcards. It quizzes you and it's called Cerebgo for cerebellum. And it also reminds you to review the terms about the time that you're going to forget them. Okay. So we'll go more into that for the study skills kind of thing. But basically, we don't remember long-term new information, okay? Which is a good thing because you don't want to remember every meal you've eaten or every time you've brushed your teeth. You know, your brain dumps stuff that you don't need long-term. But if things keep coming up again and again, your brain will move it to long-term memory. And you want to have long-term memory for the exam. Okay? So Cerebgo is going to help you learn the terms. Okay? And on Saturday, I sent you an invite to Cerebgo by email. If you don't see it, email me and we'll try again. And I call this independently memorizing the easy stuff. It's not really the easy stuff, but it's the first step in learning. Okay. And then I have a bunch of study aids in Blackboard, and there's and through Mastering Microbiology. Okay. So that's kind of the format of the class. Okay, any questions at this point? All right. So now I'm going to walk you through Blackboard and where you can find everything. So we're going to switch over to here. Okay, so I have this in student view. So this is going to be what you're going to see. Okay, so of course there's the announcements. I will be posting announcements at least once a week. Just, you know, things that are coming up, anything that you may want to know about. Okay, under faculty information, I have the Zoom links for the lecture. This is your link. There's also the Tuesday, Thursday link. So if you miss one, feel free to join the other one if it fits with your schedule. Okay. And here's information.
I don't think we're seeing anything that
yeah.
Show us.
Oh, you're not seeing anything. Oh, yay,
We're
let me
still
try
on.
this again. Sorry, let me try that again. There, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I take a month break in between semesters and I forget how to run Zoom. All right. Sorry about that. So yes, if there's any time where I'm talking about stuff and you can't see what I'm talking about, let me know. All right. So I'll go ahead and start over. So of course, when you first come into Blackboard, here's the announcements. And then here under faculty information, just so that they're easy to get to, I have the Zoom links for lecture. So I have the link for this class, which is Monday, Wednesday. If you miss, you know, a class and you can come at 5:30 in the evening, here's the link for the Tuesday, Thursday. And here's information about me, my office hours, and a picture without and with mask. Just because, you know, when I'm in person, you only see me from the eyes up. And then here are some links to my office hours. Office hours are times like this, where you know you can find me when you click on these links. Okay, so Monday from 11:30 to 12:30, so right after our Monday class, you can find me here at this link. And then Monday through Thursday from 1:30 to 2:30, there's another link to join me there. So you can come, ask questions, leave when you get the questions answered. You don't have to come at a certain time. It's just kind of a drop into my virtual office. Okay, we have an embedded tutor for this class. She's not here today, but Rochelle has been my embedded tutor for about 3 semesters. She knows microbiology very well, and she is a good resource for you. So to encourage you to make use of our wonderful embedded tutor, I have 3 assignments for you to meet with her, and you can do it 2 different ways. You can either join her Zoom group tutoring sessions, which will start next week, and here's the link to do that. If 1 to 2 p.m. doesn't work for you, we have a discussion board here at the top of lectures and assignments that you can do approximately the same thing. You would post a question and then reply back and forth with Rochelle to the point where I know that you've achieved understanding, okay? Or you can scan through and see if somebody else has posted on a question that you have and reply back and forth on that one, okay? So I've got directions in the week 1 assignments folder. And so any questions on that assignment? That's not due until February 11th. But you have between the start of next week and February 11th. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Cool. That was.
And then I reposted the office hour Zoom links just to make them easier to get to. And then there's, in case you want to email me. All right, and then we have the syllabus and the schedule. There's the syllabus. It's always a good idea to read through it. And then here I have a detailed schedule. And if it is, there we go. Now it's uploaded. I'm going to make this big. And I'll show you how to read it because, you know, the way my brain works doesn't necessarily work the same way that it works this way. Okay, so here I've got the dates for the week. We're in week 1. Here I've got required reading videos. Okay, so topics we're going to go over. And here are the assignments. Now, all the assignments for this class will be due on Fridays before we click over to midnight on Saturday. Okay. Now, I realize for the first week, that's a bit of a hard sell, especially if you're planning on doing most of your coursework on the weekends. So for the assignments that are due this week, I will allow you to turn them in on the Friday of week 2 without taking any points off. Okay. So we've got these 4 assignments, okay, and then I have study suggestions, okay. All right, so as we go down, you will also see that I have the Unit 1 exam, and I tell you what chapters it covers and when it's available. So it will be available for a week and a day. And you'll take that in Blackboard using HonorLock. And next week, we're going to practice using HonorLock, okay, so that you can get familiar with that and we can resolve any technical issues before we get to the actual exam. Okay. All right, any questions on the schedule? Okay, and then down here I have grading details. You don't have to look at this. Okay, and why is I need to do? But this lists all the assignments. Whoops, I went way down. All of the assignments, the points they're worth, what percentage of the total points it's going to be. Also, the lowest exam score will be dropped. And then the lowest 20 point assignments. So these guys, I'll be dropping the 2 lowest of these assignments. That just gives us some wiggle room. If, you know, if you get sick or if something happens or you're not happy with that score. Okay, any questions about the grading details? Okay, just for the sake of time, I'm going through pretty quick, but do feel free to stop me and have me go back. Okay, here in lectures and assignments, up here at the top, I'll have the current embedded tutor assignment. I also have an ask a question discussion board. It's ask a question is not worth any points, but it's a good place if you have questions that you want to ask me, or if you're having, like this week, having trouble uploading your e-textbook, you can post it there or email me, and I check my email and I check this ask a question discussion board once a day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes Saturday, not always, but sometimes. Okay, let's see. So further down, we have the weekly folders. And I'll always have 4 weeks at a time open. So if you want to, you can work ahead. You're not required to, but if you want to, you can. So for example, you've got a wedding coming up, okay? Or you know you're going to have to work extra on a particular week. You can certainly work ahead. Okay? So I'll generally give you a description of what we're going to be doing. I have the dates. And the first thing you see when you come in is this weekly objectives and due dates. So this will let you know what the reading is, any videos you need to watch. So I have a little blurb about the goals for the week, and then I have the assignments with their actual due date. Okay. And then below that, I've got what are called lectures. So I've got a bunch of information to supplement what we're talking about in lecture. Okay. So one thing that I do want you to go over is I have a video and information on Cerigo that will tell you what Cerigo is and directions for how to use it. So if I go over one, here's a video that I made showing you how to navigate Cerigo. Like anything else, Cerigo has a learning curve. It takes a while to get used to how to use it. Okay. So that's why I have 2 assignments fairly early in the semester to encourage you to get used to Cerigo. And then my hope is after that, you're going to love it. And it'll help you do better on tests. Okay. So that's the kind of thing down here. This is where I'll post the PowerPoints that I'm going to go over. And then it's also where I'm going to post the recordings. And then below that, I have the weekly assignments folder. So this has, generally, I'll give you an idea of what's in here. I do that twice, apparently. I put it in a label as the folder and then as an actual item. And then I have the assignments and directions for the assignments, okay? So everything that's in here, okay, are either directions or actual assignments for points, okay? Now, after that, I have study aids. These are optional things. You don't have to do them. But if you want some study aids, some activities to do to help you learn, they're in the study aids. Now, unfortunately, not this week, but next week, I do with the Pearson dynamic study, okay, that comes with the Mastering Microbiology. I couldn't make them available to you without putting a due date and without putting points. You're not really getting points. I just made them worth 1 point so that I could have them show up in Blackboard. So I put them in study aid, so ignore the stuff that you know, if it has points in study aids, don't feel obligated to do them. I realize that's confusing. It's not my fault. They tried to help me figure out how to do it a different way, but yes, go ahead.
I have a question. And I don't have week 1 study aids there.
Oh, you don't? I wonder if I haven't made it available.
Does anyone else have it?
Check that.
Because I'm following along on my computer where we're at.
No, that's a good thing to do.
I have the week 1 study aids. It pops up right there in the table of contents.
I do as well.
Oh, you might have to scroll down a little further. Try using this little scroll bar here.
Yeah. I don't have one of those on mine.
Okay. Tell you what, try refreshing. Okay. So clicking this little thing up here and maybe that'll do it.
Let's see.
Beyond that, I don't know.
What page do they start on? Because let me see if I can go to the pages.
You can advance through the pages. So up here in the corner, the right-hand corner, you can advance through and that might get you to them.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something on my end only then. Okay.
Well, and if it doesn't ever, play around with it, and if it doesn't pop up, I would definitely put in a help desk ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can show you how to do that. But we'll see how it goes.
So
Hey.
just a quick question. Just the
Sure.
the pre-assessment, that's not graded. It's just for your purpose only.
It is graded, but you
it is
get
graded.
full points
Just for
regardless of what you put.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, because it's the beginning of the class. I don't expect you to know anything. So I'm going to compare
Just
where the
clarifying for my
class
own
is.
anxiety.
Oh, go ahead.
Just clarifying for my own anxiety. That's all.
I know, hitting you with an exam, a quiz on the very first. But no, this is to help me see where the class is at the beginning of the class. And then I'm going to have a post assessment at the end of the class to see how the class is done. And that gives me an idea of if my teaching methods are working. Yeah. So they are worth points, but you'll get full points regardless of what you put down. Okay, over here, I've got study guides for all of the exams. So I list the topics that I consider most important and which are likely to show up on the exam. And I have 5 of those. And then over here is mastering microbiology. So here, this is how you're going to get to your e-text. Okay. So here's the link to it. Here's some brief directions to tell you what you're going to see and how to get to it. And that's interesting. I thought I got rid of that. I will have to delete that. If you run into problems, okay, the help desk folks are going to be your best bet to start out with. And then there's help for students, and then contact Pearson is where you'll get an actual person helping you if you have any problems. Because I hate to say it, I'm really good at microbiology, tech issues less so. So if I run into problems, I get a hold of the CWIT folks or the Pearson folks. So, okay, and then here's my grades. This is going to show you all the assignments I have listed so far. I have most of them. I think I have a few at the end of the semester that aren't there yet. I have a grading rubric so you can see how you're going to be, how I'm going to grade them on them. And then once they get graded, you'll see the grades over here and you'll see what they're worth. Okay. And then you'll also see due dates. Hey, any questions?
Did you say that some of these, the assignments weren't due on the 21st, they were due on the 28th?
Well, they're due on the 21st, but I will let you do them until the 28th without taking your points off.
Thank you.
Yeah, normally after the due date, the assignments disappear. And the reason why I do that is in the past, I allowed students to turn in assignments quite a bit late. And what I found is I was not doing my students any favors. They would get behind and never get caught up. And so that's why I drop assignments, because if you miss one, then you can start fresh on the next week. Now, having said that, with COVID and other health-related instances, get a hold of me. I'll work with you. I'm happy to work with you. If you have accommodations, you know, I always take accommodations into account. If you have military service or something like that, let me know ahead of time and we'll let you turn those in later. Okay. So in other words, I'm willing to work with you for certain criteria, but you know, you got to talk to me. Hey, other questions? Sherry, yes.
Yeah, I'm can you explain a little bit more the purpose of the Pearson eText portion? Is that, I guess I got confused when I got in there to that link, and it said something about you are now leaving Blackboard. It made me feel like we would no longer be using Blackboard, but now we'd be using Pearson in order to get the assignments and such. Or can you explain that a little better for me?
Yeah. So what's happening is Blackboard is, here, let me back up. Blackboard is what they call the learning platform, LMS. What does the M stand for? Anyway, it's the online platform that we use for me to embed videos and present documents and that kind of thing. And through Blackboard, we can link to other websites. So Mastering Microbiology is another website that you have paid for that use through your tuition. If you hadn't paid for it through your tuition for this class, you'd have to pay, you know, a certain amount to be able to get in, okay? But because I've linked it here, the website knows that you've paid your tuition, you've paid for access to the book. So when you click on that, let's see, it does take you to the Pearson website. So this is where you would read your textbook online. You can purchase a loose leaf textbook, hard copy. And it's, I think it's between $20 and $40. I think it's gone up. Everything has gone up. So that you have a hard copy. But all of your assignments you'll get to through here. But
okay, so we're still starting with Blackboard. The Pearson just automatically comes up under that Mastering Microbiology and so forth, correct? It's not a separate something we go to.
No, you go to it through Blackboard, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're quite welcome.
So I'm more of a, I have to have the book in front of me. That's how I learn.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have to go through this website to do the homework, correct?
Yes. So let me back up. So I'll go back to Blackboard, and when we go to lectures and assignments, we'll go to week 1. We'll go to the week 1 assignments, and we'll go to Introduction to Mastering Microbiology. So the link is here in Blackboard, and then you click on this and it'll take you to the assignment.
Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, I just got an email from the CWI bookstore. They did have loose leaf textbooks available in the bookstore for purchase, but they have sold out. So if you don't have one yet, you can order it through the website when you first click on the e-textbook link.
Okay.
Hey,
and then I'm sorry to go back. There was
sure.
My dog is next to me, and she's like pawing at me and annoying me.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably like in the beginning you said we had a test due or something due this week or next week.
Yeah. So it's
that was
what I call the CLO.
Okay, the pre-assessment. Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. There just seems to be so many things due. I'm already stressed out.
Well, and yeah, and I'm sorry to one of my friends used to call it being pecked to death by ducks. So I'm sorry, the first couple of weeks you're going to feel pecked to death by ducks. But after that, we get into the flow of things. There's 4 assignments. 2 of them are really short. So this CLO pre-assessment is pretty short.
Okay.
So
as long as we start at the beginning on the left-hand side and just go tab by tab.
Yep.
Is that the best way to approach this?
That is definitely the best way to approach this. And yeah, I'm sorry. There's 4 things I want you to do this week. There's 3 things next week. After that, I have just 1 thing. So it gets better, I promise. Okay, we have about 5 minutes left. Any other questions while we're here? Okay, tell you what, I'll take you back here and I will review the assignments. So here's what I want you to do this week. Well, this works best if you have been able to be here on Monday. So let me stop that one. We'll go to my next PowerPoint. We will go down to the bottom. And this is what I want you to do. So today or tomorrow, go ahead and take that CLO pre-assessment. It won't take you very long. And it doesn't matter what you put, you'll get full points. Okay. Then I have a week 2 schedule, and that's I have directions for that in that week 1 assignments folder. Okay. So basically what I want you to do is using my Excel file, I want you to block out what you're going to do when. Okay. It's a good time management thing to do. Okay. And then start Cerigo chapter 1. So you'll need to sign into Cerigo and then start chapter 1. Okay. And you won't need to finish chapter 1. I just want you to start it. So kind of get your feet wet with Cerigo. Then I want you to finish Introduction to Mastering Microbiology. That will take you about 10, 20 minutes. Okay, so that's a little bit longer. And then after you get those done and submitted, well, you don't have to submit Cerigo. And then the Introduction to Mastering, you don't have to submit. It just shows up in gradebook when you finish. Then go ahead and go through the week 2 lecture items and write down questions. So on Monday, you can ask me questions that you have about chapter 1.
So I had a question. So in the Mastering Microbiology section, when you go to that website, there's only one assignment due, right? Because there was 3 other listed, but it said those weren't due until 5/14. So we just do the one that's due?
Yep.
Okay.
And the other 3 are, you can do them if you want to. And you'll find the links to those in the study aids folder.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had to give them a due date and points to make them available as study aids. But you don't have to do them.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Oh yeah, it's always good to make sure. And the beginning of the semester is always chaotic and confusing because I'm hitting you with a whole bunch of new information. So that's why this week I'm getting you used to Blackboard and used to how I do things. And then we'll start into microbiology content next week.
I'm sorry, I just want to clarify. So the other ones, Introduction to Microbiology, the program, we don't have to do. We can do if we want to. They're not going to have a due date at all, though, associated with them. Like, they're not going to be due, like, tentatively for full points at some point, though, right?
No. All of them that have the due date of March 14th, which is the last day of the semester, they're optional.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And they'll show up in my grades as having 1 point, but that's not going to go toward your grade.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like have less to do. I just tried to clarify for this week.
No,
like,
no. No, it's good to clarify.
And then, sorry, I know you already answered the question, but I didn't get the right date. For the embedded tutor, you said it was due February
11th, if I remember correctly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So it's not due until right before the test.
Okay.
So a lot of students like to get with Rochelle right before the test. And if you have questions about the chemistry chapter, which is not next week, but the week after that. She's really good at helping understand chemistry because chemistry is interesting, but it's hard. Okay, other questions? Okay, I'm going to stop recording. We'll see how this works.